In 2008, 2007, I guess, George W. Bush came to India, and he had a pact with the Indian government that United States can sell Harley Davidson. How many of you like motorcycles? Harley Davidsons? More hands up, right? So the Harley Davidsons can be sold in Indian market, and Indian mangoes can be sold in US market. It wasn't a great deal, but Indian farmers were out to lose on it. I was very happy. I was studying in US, and I'm like, you know what? I love Indian mangoes. Why don't I see how I can bring those Indian mangoes here? But I would like to try myself. 2008, they opened the trade. I ordered a box of mango. I spent around $150 for 12 mangoes, a dozen of mangoes. What happened when the box came in my hand, all of them were black. And I reasoned with vendor, he didn't give it back. He didn't give money back. The mangoes were bad. It left the bad taste in my mouth. And I started wondering, oh wow, Harley Davidson is going to make billions of dollars by selling those motorcycles. But Indian farmers have no clue how to sell this mango in US market. And it has to come through a flight. It cannot come by sea because it's perishable item. So I took upon a challenge in 2000, end of 2008 and 9. So I was traveling to India, and this story starts, the business really starts with when I was traveling in India. I was in car, my driver was driving. We stopped by a farm, 2 kids were selling mangoes. And all of you must be understanding Hindi, Marathi term. They have their tokri over there. So they're selling the Kesar mangoes. And I happened to stop by the farm, and I decided to buy some mangoes over there. Kids are like, we'll give you 1 dozen of mango with like 50 rupees or 70. It was barely $1 for me. So I gave them more money, got the mangoes. I was enjoying the mangoes, and then we were zooming in to our destination. I was going to visit somewhere, and something clicked in my mind, why these kids were selling mangoes. So I asked my driver to turn back and take it back to the farm. And driver is like, no, we have a long way to cover. Why don't we just keep going? I still reasoned with him, and we got back to the farm. Kids were playing. And I asked like why these kids were, so their uncle came in, he brought some more mangoes, thought some of the mangoes he gave it to us were bad. So I'm like, no, all the mangoes were great, but why these kids were selling the mangoes? And I don't want to give a downer side of the story, but the uncle replied their father committed suicide 2 days ago. That stuck me very hard. So I had some Indian rupees cash in my hand, and I tried to give it to the family to support them. And I was merely a student back then. Tried to reason with them, take some money. They didn't take the money. So it hurt me way more than that it is. Then I started wondering how I can create a sustainable living business for these unfortunate, underserved people who can't send their mangoes to US. So I talked to one of my friends who was passing out of Ahmedabad, and I was like, you're going to get a good job. Why don't you help me out, figure out how we sell these mangoes, send these mangoes to US. Sending the mangoes to US is a fairly complicated process. So US Department of Agriculture sends their man over here. The irradiation, it's a different kind of process where they kill the seeds. And then there are multi-step process where they clean the mango with hot vapor and pretty much a few other processes. It gets packed, and it goes on the flight, and it gets to US. No farmer or a business owner had this idea. So we created the standard operating procedure. We built the whole thing. First shipment came to US. It was in the mid of the 2009. We were like early. But to give you an idea to make a business sense, 1 dozen of mangoes in US cost you around $7 to $10, a good mangoes, right? They're Mexican and South American mangoes. Now, Indian mangoes coming from here, arriving in New York airport, cost you, just the shipping, the freight itself cost you $15 to $20. Forget about the processing, the mango cost, the box, the packaging, and redistribution back here. So it's, by the time mango comes to New York market, it's somewhere around $40 to $50. So there is no chance anyone would buy. How many of you would buy the expensive mangoes over the cheaper one? I'm sure very few, right? So the first shipment of mango came, there were 400 boxes, and I'm just walking you through the story so that you understand how the entrepreneurship starts. So think about it. I had no clue how many 400 boxes are. They're pretty much, it will fill up the stage, half the stage, and it arrives on Newark Airport, and just visualize the picture. I go to receive the mangoes with my Honda Civic small car, sedan, and I see this whole container coming out of cargo airport. And the biggest thing I see is like, wow, how is it gonna fit in my car? And how I'm gonna sell it. I had no clue how to sell these mangoes. So the container comes out of the cargo, and I'm waiting and thinking, oh wow, I have made a big mistake. And typical Marathi parents and everybody, they were really opposing my idea of selling mangoes to US. They're like, you're studying in US and you're selling mangoes, nobody's gonna give you a daughter. So you will never get married if you're doing this business. So I'm like, nothing doing, I'm gonna get it done. So this container is right in front of me. I called a bunch of my friends. They came in their cars. So we filled up around 8 to 10 cars with the mango boxes. Now, again, imagine the 10 cars, 10 guys comes to me and like, what do we do with this? So I built the supply chain process, but I had no clue who to sell. So I'm like, you know what, just do one thing. Give these boxes for free to everybody. And if they like the mango, tell them to there is an augmented reality sticker, AR sticker on the box. Just check it out, where they came from. 3 days passed by. All the mangoes are given for free. I spent $25,000, which I took loan from my friends because my family wasn't allowing me to do any business. After 3 days, my phone couldn't stop ringing. I started getting calls. So what happened, why people basically called back, it's not only the mangoes were delicious, it was one major message I passed through that entire box and that augmented reality. We put the story of that farmer, kids, and their family. Anybody who bought this box, the money will go to their kids' education and health insurance. So people felt compelled to pay for the boxes they got for free. And they ordered 2 more. So I started this company with $400. The market cap of Indian mangoes when I started was 0, absolutely 0. We were technically second who brought the mango shipment in US. Now we built the market cap of $72 million. Many major players came in. And basically, our company helped around 5,000 farmers all over India and different parts of the world now. But that's the mango story. All right. Great. So let's go back to the basics of how you start a business from scratch. How many of you have their own businesses? Anybody started a business and failed? I don't see any hands coming up. It failed. Okay, a couple of them. The major aspect of starting a business, it's not always stick to your idea. It's constantly changing variable is the most important factor in the business. So after the mango story, I started, I'm basically a doctor, genetic engineer, did an MBA in Wharton Business School, done a bunch of degrees, started at least 9 companies, sold 4. All of them are above 10 million cap. Sold a healthcare company to Google Health. Why I'm telling you, the range of experience I gained through one single process, how to create a value and pass it on without adultering for the short-term gain. That's the most important aspect, and that's what I want all of you at this age of your life to take away. Very important is never, never, ever compromise with your quality of your product. Never compromise with your customer satisfaction. If you do these 2 things right, money will come to you, success will come to you. A lot of people in business for wrong reasons. I don't call them wrong, but a different reason. Somebody want to get rich quick. Somebody want to have a happy life or lifestyle business where they keep making money and they enjoy the rest of the world. I see starting a business from scratch, most fundamental element is patience. Your patience will be tested pretty much every single time. If you have it, you will see the difference in your life, how your patience translate into success. So there are a couple of qualities any entrepreneur would want to have in them. It's not that you have it born, it's you learn it over the period of time. So I would like to thank you all for listening to me carefully. I'm going to cut it short. I don't like lengthy speaking topics. I don't like to pass the judgment or baton to the people who are not receptive. You guys are amazing. So I will take question and answers post the stage. How about that? I hope you like the story. Thank you.